Hey there students, in this tutorial we're going to show you how you can use Google Maps to make a custom map for your project. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to open up Google Chrome browser. It should look like this, whatever home page is. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the search bar at the top up here and just type in maps.google.com. And that's going to bring you to Google Maps. If you know of a faster or better way to get to Google Maps, go right ahead and you can do it that way too. Now, the one thing you're going to want to make sure that you're signed into the account that you're going to be using. You see here I'm signed into my Ellington account. You can just click your picture in the top right hand corner to see what account is signed in. And the next step is you're going to want to go over to the search bar, and once you get over here to the search bar and you click in here, you should see a section right here that says My Maps. Go ahead and click that. Once you click My Maps, you'll see that there's some options down here. You see where it says My Maps here. It gives you a choice to see all of your maps. You see that some of the maps that you may have already created are listed here, or you can click Create with the big blue pencil over here. For this tutorial, I'm going to assume that you're creating a map for the first time, so we'll walk through those steps. So I'm going to click Create right here. A new window will open up, and this is now your custom map. You can plot points or do whatever, draw, annotate, anywhere in the world. You see here is Google Maps. You can zoom in, zoom out, and you can use this as your map. Now, the first thing that you're going to want to do is, you see it's defaulted to be called Untitled Map. So go ahead and click on Untitled Map, and you would then give your map an appropriate title and description. So one thing we could do is call this Earthquake Map, map of recent earthquakes. So we're going to plot on this map where recent earthquakes are happening. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to click on Share over here, and I can put anybody who I want to collaborate with. So if I was going to work with Mrs. Bolduc, I could write in, Bolduc, find Mrs. Bolduc's name, and click OK. And now Mrs. Bolduc is a contributor on this map with me. Now, let's talk about layers. You can add as many layers to a map as you wish. So you see, default you have a layer already added on the map, and you can click and you can add more layers just by clicking this Add Layer button. And you can add as many layers as you want. You see now I have 3 different layers. The way a layer works is you can put things on a specific layer, and by checking this box or unchecking it, you can make that layer visible or hide it. So you might want to put, for example, earthquakes on one layer. You might want to put, say for example, volcanoes on another layer, and you might want to put, I don't know, let's put hurricanes or something else on another layer. For your particular assignment, you might have different things that you need to make layers for. You can tell what layer you have selected by looking at this blue button on the side. So right now, I've selected the hurricanes layer of the map. If I click up here, now I've selected the earthquake layer of the map. So once you have the layers set up the way you need them to for your projects, you might not need layers, you might, depending on what you're doing. You select the layer that you want to add points to or add content to, and you just click it to select it blue. Then you can go up here to the search bar, and you can type in where you want to go. So I kind of want to go to Ontario. So let's type in Ontario, and you can then say, it's got a little bit more specific. Let's go Ontario, Canada. And now we're in Ontario, Canada. So you can type in like a name of a place, or you can type in a line of longitude and latitude. So you see here is a list of some recent earthquake activity. So let's take this. So let's go to the British Virgin Islands. That sounds nice. So we'll take that point, 19.3 north, 67.5 west. We'll copy that point. We'll go to our earthquake map. We'll paste that point of longitude and latitude into the search bar. We'll hit enter, and we'll see that it's going to plop a green dot right at that point of longitude and latitude. So if we zoom out here, we'll see that our earthquake that happened at that point 19.3, 67.5 happens somewhere out here in the ocean right around here. Now, if we want this to stick on our map, we're going to need to add a marker. So you can go up to the top right here and click this button that says Add Marker. You just click it, and then your mouse becomes a crosshair. Wherever you click on the map, it's going to add a point. So I'm going to click over here, and it says point 1. I can say earthquake, and I'm going to say U.S. Virgin Islands. And then I could even say, all right, this is or British Virgin Islands, change that, a 3.4 magnitude quake. Let's take this British Virgin Islands, and I can put a note in here, 3.4 magnitude. So I just remember that that's what it was. I hit save. And then I can take my mouse cursor, and I can click this point, and then I can drag it. So I can move it wherever I want it to go, and I want to put it right where that green dot was because I know that's the exact spot that earthquake happened. Now, when I go and type in a different point, like California, the green dot's going to move, but you'll see that because I marked it with a pointer, you see how my red dot stayed there? That's why you want to add that marker. You'll also notice that the marker will appear over here on whatever layer you added it to. So on the earthquakes layer, I have one point called British Virgin Islands. Let's say I want to add a volcano. I'm going to click the volcanoes layer. I'll go up to the search bar. Let's add let's go to Mount St. Helens, which is a volcano in Washington. So there is a volcano, Mount St. Helens. I'm going to add a marker, and I'm going to pop it here. I'm going to put Mount St. Helens, a big volcano. All right, and then I can click this point and move it right to where I want, Mount St. Helens. And then over here, see how I have a point under earthquakes, the British Virgin Islands? I have a point, Mount St. Helens here. Let's say I want to change the color of a point. I can go up here and I can put my mouse cursor over a point. I can click this paint bucket and I can choose what color I want. So let's put my earthquakes, let's make them, my volcanoes rather, let's make my volcanoes green so they're not as scary. My earthquakes will be in red. So you get the basic point, the basic premise of you can add points to whatever layer you want. Now if I zoom out a bunch here, so like more of a, you can see that I have a point here under earthquakes, I have a point here under volcanoes. Now let's say if I only want to look at volcanoes, I can go up to my layers over here and check earthquakes and get rid of all the earthquakes. Later on I might want to only look at earthquakes. I can click earthquakes and uncheck volcanoes, and those points will go away. I still have the green point here because I haven't searched for something new. Let's go to Denmark. Let's go to Denver. Why not? Denver sounds nice. All right. So now when I zoom out here, you'll still see my green dot on Denver because that's what I just recently searched. But I can clear this out and I'll get rid of it. And now I can turn volcanoes on. You can see the volcano there. Turn volcanoes off. So that's basically how Google Maps works. And now you have a map with all the different information that you need. So good luck.